There's a moment when your eyes meet theirs across the room, when they lean in just a little too close, when the silence gets so loud it's deafening. That's not awkwardness. That's sexual tension. And no, you can't fake it. But once you learn to spot it, you'll never miss it again. Sexual tension is one of the most misunderstood forces in human attraction. Most people think it's about obvious flirting, cheesy pickup lines, or aggressive advances. But real sexual tension, it's far more subtle, far more powerful, and infinitely more intoxicating. It's the electricity that makes your skin feel alive when someone brushes past you. It's the magnetic pull that draws two people together without either one consciously deciding to move closer. It's the invisible thread that connects two nervous systems and makes them dance to the same rhythm. In today's deep dive, we're exploring 15 signs of raw, intense sexual tension that are rooted in real psychology. Signs you can't fake, and that most people don't even realize they're showing. This isn't about cheap flirting or manipulative games. It's about the kind of attraction that takes over the room. The kind you feel in your gut, in your chest, and in other places. Understanding these signs isn't just about recognizing when someone is attracted to you. It's about understanding the deeper language of human desire, the primal communication that happens beneath our conscious awareness. When you can read these signals, you gain access to a hidden world of connection that most people never even know exists. Let's begin. Sign number 1, prolonged eye contact with no purpose. If you lock eyes and neither of you looks away, even after the moment should have ended, that's not polite conversation. It's primal. The eyes are the gateway to desire. And when sexual energy builds, that gaze lingers, softens, darkens. There's a specific quality to this kind of eye contact that sets it apart from normal social interaction. In regular conversation, we look at someone's eyes to show attention and respect, but we naturally break away to process information or check our surroundings. But when sexual tension is present, the eyes become locked in a different kind of dance. The gaze becomes softer, more intense. There's a vulnerability in it, like you're seeing past their social mask into something more raw and honest. Time seems to slow down. Your peripheral vision fades. The rest of the world becomes background noise. This isn't just looking. It's looking with intention. And when it's mutual, it's magnetic. You feel pulled into their gaze like gravity is working between your eyes. Breaking away becomes almost physically difficult, as if some invisible force is holding you there. Sign number 2, accidental touches that don't feel accidental. The brush of a hand, the touch on the lower back, a hug that lasts just a second too long. Our bodies crave physical contact with someone we're drawn to. And when tension builds, we find subtle excuses to feel that person's presence, physically. These touches are different from friendly contact because they linger. A normal touch serves a purpose, guiding someone through a door, getting their attention, offering comfort. But touches loaded with sexual tension serve a different purpose, connection. Watch how they touch you. Is there a slight pause before they pull their hand away? Do their fingers seem to trail just a moment longer than necessary? Do they find reasons to adjust your collar, brush something off your shoulder, or guide you with their hand on your lower back? The skin is our largest organ, packed with nerve endings that respond to attraction. When someone we desire touches us, even briefly, it sends electrical signals throughout our nervous system. That's why these accidental touches feel so charged, because they literally are. Sign number 3, intense silence that feels loud. You're sitting there, maybe mid-conversation, and suddenly, silence. But not awkward silence, a heavy, thick silence. Like both of you feel something you're not saying. This kind of silence is pregnant with possibility. It's the pause between what is and what could be. In this moment, both people are acutely aware of each other's presence, of the space between them, of the unspoken tension that's building. Normal conversational pauses feel empty, like someone should fill them with words. But sexually charged silence feels full. It's loaded with meaning, with possibility, with the weight of things unsaid. Your heart might race during these moments, not from anxiety, but from anticipation. If silence makes your heart race instead of your brain panic, that's sexual tension doing its job. It's creating a space where attraction can breathe, where the energy between you can intensify without the distraction of words. Sign number 4. Your voice is lower without realizing it. When people feel attraction, especially sexual tension, their voices soften and drop slightly in pitch. Why? Because a lower voice subconsciously signals confidence, intimacy, and seduction. This vocal shift happens automatically when we're drawn to someone. It's our body's way of creating intimacy, making the other person lean in closer to hear us, drawing them into our personal space. The voice becomes more breathy, more textured, more sensual. Listen closely to how they speak when you're alone versus when you're in a group. Notice if their tone becomes more intimate, more personal. Pay attention to your own voice, too. You might be surprised to discover that you're unconsciously modulating your tone to match the energy between you. That tone shift, it's not random. It's your nervous system responding to attraction and adjusting your communication to match the level of intimacy you're feeling. Sign number 5. Pupils dilate when they look at you. This one's backed by science. When someone is aroused or highly stimulated, mentally or physically, their pupils naturally dilate. The pupils are controlled by the autonomic nervous system, which means they respond automatically to our internal state. When we're attracted to someone, excited, or experiencing any form of arousal, our pupils expand to take in more visual information. So if their eyes seem darker, wider, more open when you're close, you're not imagining it. Their nervous system is literally opening up to take in more of you. It's one of the most honest signals of attraction because it's completely involuntary. No one can fake dilated pupils. This is why dim lighting is so conducive to romance. Not only does it create atmosphere, but it naturally causes pupil dilation, which makes everyone look more attractive and receptive. Sign number 6. Subtle lip biting or licking. It's instinctive. She might bite or wet her lips mid-sentence. He might glance at yours while you're talking. Lips are sensual. And the mouth becomes a major focal point when attraction builds. This behavior stems from our primal understanding that lips are associated with pleasure. Eating, drinking, kissing. When we're attracted to someone, we unconsciously draw attention to our lips through subtle movements. The lip bite is particularly telling because it's a self-soothing behavior that happens when we're feeling overwhelmed by attraction. It's the body's way of dealing with nervous energy while simultaneously signaling sensuality. If someone can't stop glancing at your lips, they're not thinking about your words. They're thinking about contact. They're imagining what it would be like to close that distance between you. Sign number 7. Leaning in. Even when they don't have to, watch how close someone sits or stands when you're near. Sexual tension has gravity. It pulls people closer without them realizing it. Even in loud rooms or crowded spaces, they'll subconsciously lean in, just to be a little closer. This gravitational pull is real. When we're attracted to someone, our bodies naturally want to decrease the physical distance between us. We lean forward during conversation, angle our bodies toward them, find excuses to move into their personal space. Notice if they maintain this closeness, even when the practical reason for it disappears. If the music gets quieter, but they stay close, if the crowd thins out, but they don't step back, that's tension creating its own magnetic field. Sign number 8. Breathing changes. Faster or deeper attraction activates the nervous system. When you're around someone you desire, your breathing can become faster, shallower, or deeper and slower to calm yourself. Watch their chest, their rhythm. If it shifts when you're near, your presence is affecting them physically. Some people's breathing becomes quick and shallow when they're excited or nervous. Others take deeper, more controlled breaths as they try to manage the intensity of what they're feeling. Both are signs that their autonomic nervous system is responding to your presence. You might notice your own breathing change too. Sexual tension creates a heightened state of awareness that affects every system in your body, including the most basic one, breathing. Sign number 9. You mirror each other's movements without thinking. This is classic subconscious syncing. When two people are sexually in tune, they often mirror posture, gestures, even the way they sip their drinks. You become rhythmically aligned, and that's no accident. That's chemistry. Mirroring isn't mimicry. It's your nervous systems syncing like a secret dance. When people are deeply connected or attracted to each other, they naturally begin to match each other's energy and movements. It's as if their bodies are trying to find harmony. Watch for it. If you lean back, do they lean back? If you cross your legs, do they shift position too? If you gesture with your hands, do they become more animated? This synchronization happens below the level of conscious awareness and indicates a deep level of attunement. Sign number 10. Lingering goodbyes. You both know it's time to leave, but neither of you does. You say goodbye, but the conversation keeps going. A pause, a look, a smile. This is the tension between logic and lust, and in that moment, the body wants more, even if the mind says, later. These extended goodbyes reveal the internal conflict between social expectations and desire. Logically, you know the interaction should end, but emotionally and physically, you're not ready to break the connection. You might find yourselves having 3 or 4 final exchanges, each one feeling like it should be the last, but neither of you quite able to walk away. This is sexual tension at its most obvious, creating a gravitational pull that makes separation physically difficult. Sign number 11. Frequent glances, even when you're not talking. If they keep looking at you when someone else is talking, if they check where you are in the room, if their eyes always seem to find you, that's not coincidence. That's focus. Sexual energy makes you more visually magnetic. When someone is attracted to you, you become the most interesting thing in their environment. Even when they're engaged in other conversations or activities, part of their attention remains focused on you. You might catch them looking across the room, checking to see where you are, what you're doing, who you're talking to. Their awareness of your presence becomes heightened to the point where they're tracking you, even when they're not consciously trying to. Sign number 12. Teasing that feels a bit more. Loaded jokes, sarcasm, little digs. On the surface, it's playful, but underneath, there's heat. Sexual tension often hides behind humor. Teasing becomes a safe way to say, "I'm into you," without saying it out loud. This kind of teasing has a different quality than friendly banter. There's an edge to it, an intensity that suggests something more serious beneath the playfulness. The jokes might be slightly more personal, the teasing a bit more intimate. It's a way of testing boundaries, of creating small moments of conflict and resolution that mirror the push and pull dynamic of sexual attraction. The teasing creates safe opportunities for close contact, for challenging each other, for showing personality and wit. Sign number 13. Over-awareness of body language. She straightens her posture when you walk in. He adjusts his shirt or runs a hand through his hair. People unconsciously preen around someone they're attracted to, trying to show their best, even if it's subtle. This preening behavior is deeply instinctual. When we're attracted to someone, we automatically want to present ourselves in the most appealing way possible. We become hyper-aware of how we look, how we're standing, how we're coming across. If someone starts fixing themselves just as you enter the room, they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for you. They want to look good in your eyes, even if they're not consciously aware of making these adjustments. Watch for smoothed hair, adjusted clothing, improved posture, or subtle changes in how they carry themselves when you're around. Sign number 14, random tension or snapping. Sometimes, sexual tension builds up so much it spills out as frustration, sarcasm, or even shortness. Why? Because the energy needs somewhere to go. Sexual tension creates internal pressure. When that pressure builds without release, it can manifest as seemingly negative behaviors, impatience, irritability, or sudden emotional reactions that seem disproportionate to the situation. If they suddenly seem moody, reactive, or flustered around you, it's probably not hate, it's heat. It's the body's way of dealing with intense attraction that has no outlet. This is especially common in situations where acting on the attraction isn't appropriate or possible. The energy builds, creating internal friction that eventually has to express itself somehow. Sign number 15, the lingering feeling after they're gone. And here's the biggest one. After they leave, the room feels colder, quieter. You replay the conversation. You remember how they smelled, how they smiled. You feel them even after they're gone. That's not emotional attachment. That's unresolved energy. And energy like that doesn't just fade. This lingering presence is perhaps the most telling sign of all. When someone has truly affected you on a sexual energetic level, their absence becomes palpable. You feel the space where they were standing. You notice the silence where their voice was. Your mind keeps returning to moments from your interaction, not necessarily what was said, but how it felt. The energy they brought, the way they looked at you, the moments of connection that felt charged with possibility. So, what should you do with this tension? Here's the truth. Sexual tension is powerful, but it's also fragile. If you rush it, you can kill it. If you fear it, you'll miss it. But if you feel it, hold it, and let it build naturally. It becomes unforgettable. The key is learning to be comfortable with intensity without immediately needing to act on it. Sexual tension is delicious, precisely because it exists in the space between possibility and reality. It's the anticipation, the building energy, the delicious uncertainty of what if. You don't need cheesy pickup lines. You don't need to force a move. Just recognize the signs and trust your energy to do the rest. When you can read these signals accurately, you gain access to a deeper level of human connection. You begin to understand the subtle language of attraction that most people miss entirely. You learn to appreciate the artistry of sexual tension, the way it builds, the way it dances between two people, the way it creates its own electric atmosphere. This understanding makes you more attractive because you become someone who truly gets it. Someone who can feel the energy in a room, who can recognize when something special is happening, who knows how to honor and work with that energy rather than forcing or rushing it. The most memorable connections aren't the ones that happen immediately. They're the ones that build slowly, that create anticipation, that leave both people wanting more. If this deep dive opened your eyes or made you think about someone in particular, you're starting to understand the true power of sexual chemistry. It's not about techniques or tricks. It's about tuning into the authentic energy that flows between two people when real attraction is present. And once you learn to recognize it, you'll never miss it again.